Have you ever met someone who seemed too charming, too perfect, only to later realize they were pulling your strings? What if I told you that the secret to spotting a manipulator isn't just in what they say, but in how they move? Welcome to the hidden world of body language, where a fleeting smirk, a calculated gesture, or a cold stare can reveal the truth about someone's intentions. Today, we're diving into the 7 body language cues of manipulators, with a special focus on the subtle microexpressions and hand gestures of psychopaths, those master manipulators who can charm their way into your trust, only to leave you as their victim. Picture your interactions as a chess game. Most of us play with honesty, but manipulators, they're grandmasters, using every glance, tilt of the head, or wave of the hand to outmaneuver you. The good news? You can learn their moves. In this video, I'll reveal 7 telltale signs to watch for, backed by cutting-edge psychology, neuroscience, and real-world examples. By the end, you'll have a mental radar to spot manipulators before they strike. Are you ready to see through the mask? Smash that like button if you've ever felt manipulated, and drop a comment below. Have you ever noticed someone's body language that gave you chills? I'm all ears. Let's get started. The power of body language. Why body language matters. Body language is the unspoken language of human interaction, conveying up to 55% of communication, according to Dr. Albert Mehrabian's seminal research. While words can lie, the body often betrays the truth, especially for manipulators, whose polished facades can crack under scrutiny. Psychopaths, in particular, are skilled at using body language to project charm, control, or intimidation, but their subtle cues can expose their true intentions. Think of body language as a window into the mind. For most of us, our gestures and expressions align with our emotions. But for manipulators, especially those with psychopathic traits, body language is a tool, a weapon they wield to deceive, persuade, or dominate. A 2018 study in personality and individual differences found that individuals with psychopathic traits are adept at mimicking emotional expressions, but their micro-expressions, those split-second facial movements, often betray their lack of genuine feeling. Psychopaths and manipulation. Psychopathy, as defined by Dr. Robert Hare's Hare Psychopathy checklist, includes traits like superficial charm, lack of empathy, manipulativeness, and emotional detachment. While only 1% of the population is clinically psychopathic, their impact is outsized, especially in high-stakes environments like business, politics, or even personal relationships. A 2016 study estimated that 3 to 4% of corporate leaders exhibit psychopathic traits, using their body language to mask their intentions and control others. So, how do you spot these master manipulators? The key lies in decoding their micro-expressions, facial movements lasting less than 0.5 seconds, and hand gestures, which often reveal what their words conceal. Let's explore the 7 body language cues that can help you identify a manipulator before it's too late. Micro-expressions and hand gestures. The science of micro-expressions. Micro-expressions are involuntary facial movements that flash across the face in a fraction of a second, often revealing emotions the person is trying to hide. Dr. Paul Ekman, a pioneer in facial expression research, identified 7 universal emotions: happiness, sadness, anger, fear, surprise, disgust, and contempt that appear in micro-expressions. For psychopaths, who lack genuine empathy, these micro-expressions can be mismatched or absent, creating a leak in their facade. A 2019 study in Journal of Nonverbal Behavior found that individuals with psychopathic traits often display asymmetrical micro-expressions, e.g., a smirk on one side of the face or suppressed emotions, making their faces appear oddly neutral or staged during emotional moments. This mismatch is a red flag for manipulation. The role of hand gestures. Hand gestures are another critical clue. While most people use hands to emphasize or express, manipulators use them strategically to control conversations, project confidence, or distract from lies. A 2020 study in Psychological Reports noted that psychopathic individuals often use calculated gestures, like precise pointing or slow, deliberate movements, to dominate interactions and mask their true intentions. By combining micro-expression analysis with hand gesture observation, you can build a powerful toolkit to detect manipulation. Let's dive into the 7 body language cues to watch for. The 7 body language cues of manipulators. Cue 1. The crocodile tears micro-expression. The first cue is the crocodile tears micro-expression, a fake display of sadness or empathy that psychopaths use to gain trust or deflect blame. Unlike genuine sadness, which involves symmetrical wrinkling around the eyes and mouth, this micro-expression is often asymmetrical or fleeting. How to spot it? Look for a quick flash of a downturned mouth or squinted eyes that doesn't match the context. For example, a colleague might fake sadness about a team's failure while their eyes remain cold or a smirk flickers. A 2017 study in emotion found that psychopathic individuals struggle to sustain fake emotional expressions, leading to these brief leaks. Real-world example. Imagine a boss who apologizes for a harsh decision, like layoffs, with a sad face that quickly shifts to neutrality. Their micro-expression betrays their lack of genuine remorse. Why it's manipulative? Crocodile tears create an illusion of empathy, making you lower your guard or feel guilty for questioning them. I once saw a coworker cry during a meeting to avoid accountability, but their dry eyes and quick recovery gave them away. Have you ever noticed fake tears that didn't feel right? Cue 2. The smirk of contempt. The second cue is the smirk of contempt, a micro-expression that reveals a manipulator's sense of superiority or disdain. Contempt is marked by a one-sided lip curl, often lasting less than a second, and is a hallmark of psychopathic arrogance. How to spot it? Watch for a fleeting smirk during moments of praise or criticism. For instance, a manipulator might smile politely while receiving feedback, but a quick lip curl signals they're dismissing you. A 2018 study in Frontiers in Psychology linked contempt microexpressions to psychopathic traits like grandiosity. Real-world example. Picture a politician nodding sympathetically during a debate, but a brief smirk betrays their disdain for their opponent. Why it's manipulative? The smirk signals they view you as beneath them, subtly undermining your confidence while maintaining a charming facade. I've caught this smirk in meetings when a colleague pretended to agree but clearly thought they were smarter than everyone else. Ever seen a smirk that made your skin crawl? Cue 3. The piercing stare. The third cue is the piercing stare, a cold, unblinking gaze that psychopaths use to intimidate or control. Unlike a warm, engaged look, this stare feels predatory, often paired with minimal facial movement. How to spot it? Notice if someone locks eyes for too long without blinking, especially during tense moments. Their face may remain neutral, but the intensity feels unsettling. A 2019 study in Journal of Abnormal Psychology found that psychopathic individuals use prolonged eye contact to assert dominance. Real-world example. Think of a manager who stares you down during a disagreement, making you feel small without saying a word. Why it's manipulative? The piercing stare creates unease, forcing you to back down or comply to escape discomfort. I once had a boss whose stare felt like it could cut through steel. It was their way of silencing dissent. Have you felt pinned by someone's gaze? Cue 4. The overly animated hand wave. The fourth cue is the overly animated hand wave, a theatrical gesture manipulators use to distract or project confidence while lying. Unlike natural hand movements, these gestures feel staged or exaggerated. How to spot it? Look for rapid, sweeping hand motions that don't match the conversation's tone. For example, a manipulator might wave their hands dramatically while denying a mistake, drawing attention away from their words. A 2020 study in nonverbal behavior noted that psychopathic individuals use excessive gestures to mask deception. Real-world example. Imagine a salesperson waving their hands enthusiastically while dodging questions about a product's flaws. Why it's manipulative? The exaggerated movement distracts you from inconsistencies in their story, making their lies harder to detect. I've seen colleagues use wild hand waves during presentations to gloss over shaky data. Ever notice gestures that felt too big for the moment? Cue 5. The pointing power play. The fifth cue is the pointing power play, a deliberate hand gesture where manipulators point directly at someone to assert dominance or shift blame. Unlike casual pointing, this gesture is sharp and controlled, often paired with a stern expression. How to spot it? Watch for precise, aggressive pointing during confrontations or accusations. The manipulator may point while saying, "This is your fault," to intimidate. A 2017 study in Journal of Personality and Social Psychology linked such gestures to psychopathic traits like dominance. Real-world example, picture a team leader pointing at an employee during a meeting, blaming them for a project's failure while ignoring their own role. Why it's manipulative, pointing creates a power imbalance, making the target feel cornered or defensive. I've witnessed a manager use pointing to shut down questions, turning the room silent. Have you seen pointing used as a weapon? Q6, the fake smile. The sixth Q is the fake smile, a hallmark of psychopathic charm that lacks genuine warmth. Unlike a true smile, which involves the eyes, crow's feet wrinkles, a fake smile is limited to the mouth and feels forced. How to spot it? Look for a smile that doesn't reach the eyes or appears suddenly, especially in inappropriate contexts, e.g., during a serious discussion. A 2016 study in Emotion Review found that psychopathic individuals struggle to produce authentic smiles, relying on mouth-only expressions. Real-world example, think of a colleague who smiles broadly while delivering bad news, their eyes remaining cold and detached. Why it's manipulative, the fake smile creates an illusion of friendliness, disarming you while they pursue their agenda. I once knew someone who smiled through every lie, but their eyes told a different story. Ever spotted a smile that didn't feel real? Q7, the head tilt trick. The seventh Q is the head tilt trick, a subtle gesture manipulators use to feign interest or empathy. While a genuine head tilt signals curiosity, a manipulator's tilt is calculated, often paired with a blank or overly intense expression. How to spot it? Notice if the head tilt feels rehearsed or occurs during moments of flattery or persuasion. For example, a manipulator might tilt their head while saying, "I really value your input," but their eyes lack warmth. A 2018 study in Journal of Nonverbal Behavior linked this gesture to psychopathic charm tactics. Real-world example, imagine a coworker tilting their head while listening to your concerns only to later dismiss them entirely. Why it's manipulative, the head tilt creates a false sense of connection, making you more likely to trust or confide in them. I've seen this trick in networking events where someone's head tilt fooled me into thinking they cared until I saw their true colors. Have you noticed a head tilt that felt off? The consequences of missing these cues. Personal impact. Failing to spot these body language cues can leave you vulnerable to manipulation. A 2019 study in Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that victims of manipulative tactics report higher stress, lower self-esteem, and a sense of betrayal. Whether it's a toxic boss, a deceitful partner, or a scheming colleague, manipulators can erode your confidence and exploit your trust. Workplace and societal costs. In workplaces, unchecked manipulators create toxic environments. A 2020 study in work and stress linked psychopathic leadership to 40% higher employee burnout rates and increased turnover. On a broader scale, manipulative leaders can drive scandals or unethical practices as seen in cases like Enron or Theranos, harming employees, investors, and society. The power of awareness. The good news? Awareness is your shield. By recognizing these 7 cues, you can protect yourself, set boundaries, and avoid becoming a victim. Knowledge is power, and you're about to wield it. You've just unlocked the 7 body language cues of manipulators, from crocodile tears to the head tilt trick. Let's recap. Crocodile tears micro-expression, fake sadness to gain trust. Smirk of contempt, a fleeting sign of arrogance. Piercing stare, a tool for intimidation. Overly animated hand wave, a distraction from lies. Pointing power play, a gesture of dominance. Fake smile, charm without warmth. Head tilt trick, feigned empathy to disarm. Now, it's time to put this knowledge to work. I challenge you, over the next week, observe the body language of people around you. Watch for these cues in meetings, conversations, or even public figures. Note one instance where you spot a manipulative gesture and share it in the comments below. I can't wait to hear your stories. If this video helped you see through the mask, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to stay one step ahead of manipulators. Thank you for watching, and let's keep our eyes sharp and our hearts strong. See you next time.